Hi students, today we are going to study the subject sustainable engineering. Okay, so this comes under the curriculum of third semester BTech engineering. Okay, so we were studying module 3. Okay, so now in today's session we are going to discuss about biomimicking. Okay, so actually the name itself seems interesting, isn't it? So biomimicking. So biomimicking is a combination of two words, that is bios and mimesis. Okay, so what is the meaning of bio? Bio means something related to life or it's about life, and mimesis means imitate. Okay, so imitate something. Okay, so in total, biomimicry means to imitate life. So here in this discussion, we are going to share something about we are imitating something from nature in our day-to-day life or in our living. Okay, so we need to find a definition for biomimicry, that is biomimicry is an innovative methodology to observe, inspire, and value nature, to learn from it, and find and derive solutions from natural models to solve human problems. Okay, so biomimicry is an innovative methodology. So it is a methodology to observe what? Observe as well as inspire. Okay, so observe as well as inspire and value nature, to learn from it and find and derive solution from natural models to solve human problem. So the biomimicry is invented for solving human problems by observing and inspiring and values from nature, and we need to find solutions for human problems from nature itself. Okay, next, biomimicry. So literally it means that imitation of living. Okay. So it aims to take inspiration from natural selection solutions adopted by nature and translate the principles to human engineering. Okay. So actually in nature there are certain adaptations for the existence. So that principles or that adaptations are accepted or taken considering as an inspiration in principles of human engineering. Okay, so the biomimicry approach aims to favor choices tested by nature, which had millions of years to understand what works best and what doesn't. Okay, so in nature there are some tested approaches for the existence. So that approach we are adapting for finding solutions for human problems. Okay. So the design following biometrics will ultimately allow human productions to be more efficient, resilient, and sustainable. So by imitating something from nature or adaptation from nature will help human being to be more efficient, resilient, and sustainable. Okay, so let's see the definition of biomimicry from Biomimicry Institute. Okay, so there is an institute which is a non-profitable institute. They are considering their interest is to find biomimicry related research. Okay, so they are doing researches based on biomimicry. So according to the Biomimicry Institute, biomimicry can be defined as an approach to innovation that seeks sustainable solutions to human challenges by emulating nature's time-tested patterns and strategies. The goal is to create products, processes, and policies, new ways of living that are well adapted to live on Earth over the long haul. Okay, so the biomimicry or the inspired design, biomimicry inspired design from nature. So in nature it is time tested. So we know that in nature whatever changes occurs, that is it takes time. Okay, so whatever we are taking from nature, it is a time tested process or time tested model. Okay, so let's see the examples for biomimicry. Okay, so kingfisher inspired bullet trains. Okay, so we know that biomimicry is using nature to find sustainable solutions to human problems. Okay, so this bullet train is Japanese engineers used a bird called kingfisher to help redesign a bullet train. Okay, so in Japan they inspired from Kingfisher to develop a bullet train. Okay, so in late 1990s, Japanese engineers modeled a bullet train after a kingfisher. So kingfisher is a bird which found in many parts of the world. Okay, so kingfishers have a large head and a long narrow beak. So what is the speciality of this bird? It is having a large head and a long narrow beak. In Japan, they have these very fast bullet trains. So in Japan, they are having bullet trains, but they were getting so fast that the typical bullet shape was causing a loud booming sound when these trains would exit typical train tunnels. Okay, so we know in Japan they faced a problem. The train engineers faced some problem that whenever uh, the bullet train are leaving or passing through the tunnels, it is producing some loud booming sound. Okay, so the booming it turned out had to do with the shape of the face of the train. So later on research, they found that this booming sound is because of the shape of that particular train. Okay, so and the reason is booming was happening. They discovered is that this gushing of air was building up in front of that speeding train going like 300 kilometers an hour. The sound was waking up people who lived nearby. It disturbed the wildlife. Okay, so while because of the train's shape, it creates some disturbance due to nature, due to air. So this caused this booming sound, and this disturbed the people who lives around that train stations. Okay, so next, so in order to solve that issue, one of the engineer in Japan, locomotive engineer in Japan, find a solution. But actually, that engineer was a bird watcher also. Okay, so he used to study more about birds also. So he had witnessed a kingfisher bird diving down through the air, going into the water and creating very little splash. Okay, so one day he found that one kingfisher bird is diving through the air and splash going into the water without by causing less splashing sound. So he thought I will, he can apply this principle to shape the front of the bullet train. Okay, so kingfisher birds, this peculiarity of his beak, its beak and head can be adapted to develop new bullet trains. So this technology they have taken for development of bullet train. So there was a solution. There was a problem related to the running of bullet train. So they are solved that problem by inspired from the design of a kingfisher bird. Okay, so this is one example. And another is super trees of Singapore. So you all seen this in the internet. Okay, so this is very beautiful, is it? So this is a spectacular grove of solar trees. This is not a typical tree. It is a solar trees. Okay, and it is also have many advantages. So it is a spectacular grove of solar trees which rooted along Marina Bay in Singapore. So this is in Singapore and it is situated in Bay City Park. Okay, gardens by the bay City Park, Singapore, and this is called super trees. So they behave as vertical gardens generating solar power. Actually, this is not for uh, show. This is generating solar power. This tree generates solar power and it acts as exposed air towers for nearby conservatories and collecting rainwater on this island in Southeast Asia. Okay, so it generates electricity and so it is having a tree-like structure. So it is used as a uh, solar solar power harvesting system and rainwater conservation, and it is used as an exposed air tower. Okay, so this tree is having this is wonderful tree and it is having so many what advantages. Okay, so it helps the human lives there. Okay, so this is another example for biomimicry. Okay, so this is Velcro. Okay, so all of you seen that Velcro. Actually, Velcro was invented by George D. Mestral in 1941, and he was inspired by the burrs he found himself and on his dog. Okay, so one day he went for a walk with his dog, and while walking, something is stick on the burrs of his dog. So he took that plant. So you can see that plant here. So he took that plant under uh, keen supervision. He found that this technology can be adapted for developing some interesting or some efficient sticky material. Okay, so that lead to the development of Velcro. So this is an example for biomimicry. So then it is aircrafts. Okay. So the traditional method of helping an aircraft cut through the air is to make every surface smooth as possible. Okay. So for an aircraft to pass through the air smoothly, the surface should be extremely smooth. Okay. So the study suggests that this shark skin, okay, the skin or the skin speciality of the shark will be helpful for the development of aircraft parts for the easy or smooth movement through the air. So they are inspired. The materials, the engineers developed some materials which gives the properties of shark skin, and they are used that material uh, to manufacture the aircraft wings and all. Okay, so for the efficient transmission or the efficient transport of the aircraft, they used this technology. Okay, so this is another example of biomimicry. And this is a question for you. So, is Lotus Temple? So, we can see that the design of the Lotus Temple is inspired from the lotus flower. So, can we say that this Lotus Temple is an example for biomimicry? Actually, biomimicry does literally mean the imitation of nature, but a literal imitation of nature is not what biomimicry is. Okay, so actually, in one way, we can say that, yeah, it is something we are inspired from or imitating from the nature. But there should be one more point in biomimicry. It is for solving some kind of human issues, human problems. Okay, so this temple does not have any solves any human issues or something. This is just a design. Okay, so we know that biomimicry involves drawing inspiration from the nature to help find solutions to human problems. Yeah, I told already that. And ideally, the process uses nature as a model. Okay, so we can use nature as a model, also a measure. Okay, so measure to overcome the solution. So, literally speaking, not a simple. is not a biomimicry, it is just a nature inspired design. Okay, so this is all about biomimicry, and now it's your task. Find an example for biomimicry and prepare a paragraph on that. Okay, so thank you.